Da-da! Hello, and welcome to this. Now, this is a test. I'm just trying to see. Here we are. Brilliant. Why hasn't it used? I didn't actually give me an option to put up a thumbnail, in fairness. So I can do this on the fly because I do have a thumbnail. And there it is, Rokk and Chill. It's too big. We have a solution to when it's too big, don't we? We do. Do you want to share it with the boys and girls? Yeah, wouldn't mind. Now, what I'm testing here is, let me see, is that improved a bit? Yeah, okay. So what I'm trying out is the setup for Rokk and Rake. So this week, we're going to try using this system. Now, there's a little bit, it looks to me like a little bit of lag. You lag. But you guys may not see any. There may not be any. So, right, what was I doing? Oh, yes, I was going to share stuff with you, wasn't I? So let's do that. Let's share screen, share in 1080p. Yep, that's cool. And I'm going to share a screen with you. Nerds World, hello, my friend. This is, okay, I just need to accept that, allow that to happen. I'll be with you in 2 seconds. Enter a password and quit and reopen. Well, if I do that, that's not going to be good. That's going to kill everything. So we'll quit and do that a bit later. It may not let me do this. That's not the end of the world if it doesn't. So we'll try window instead. We'll try tab for now. We'll just do any old tab. What we got over there? That one. That'll do. That'll do. Now, is that working? Let's see. Yeah, there she blows. Woohoo! How are you, my friend? Thank you for joining. So I'm experimenting here with the potential show of Rokk and Chill, which will be impromptu. It won't be a regular thing like Rokk and Ray, but I'm just trying to ease myself back into streaming because I haven't been doing a lot of it of late. I just need to find the where are we, downloads? Oh, I remember. Yeah, it was over in Stadia Rocks. There we go. Stadia Rocks. I've still got the name on the folder. We'll never be dying. It'll never die. Rock brand, Rock shows. There we go. Rokk and Chill, new one. So what I do is, you may be able to see over there, it's in red, and it suggests that the thumbnail graphic that I tried to upload was too big. So all I do, a little tipette, is I preview it on my monitor. I'm on a Mac, so it's just a spacebar thing. And then I take a screen grab, and the screen grab is always just a few 100K, but it's more than enough for for the purposes of. So now I can add this in. Let me go to desktop, find there it is. Okay, cool. Rokk and Chill thumbnail that I've created. Hey, ta-da! Gonna need to create a new playlist, I think. If I do this on a regular basis. So let's put Rokk and Chill. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, so we'll save that. Done, 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 done. No, it's not made for kids. Does it have any AI and crap? No. Does it have a paid promotion? No. Does it have any tags? Not yet. Etc., etc. We'll worry about ads and stuff at a later point. So, right, brilliant. Now let's close this down. There we go. And there's Nerds World. There he is, over the top of the clouds. Do we need the clouds, Nerds World, or are they just getting in the way? Let me see. Do we need a bigger one of these? Do we need me down here or over there? That's pretty cool, isn't it? And let's hide the clouds because we don't need those. Oops. Yeah, there we go. We don't really need those, do we? Or do we? Let's see. No. no. That's all good. So I'm reverting here to my. That looks good. There you go. Thank you. I'm reverting to what is it's now Streamlabs Live Talk. I think Talk Studio used to be Melon, and I threatened using it for Rock and Ray recently, but I haven't as yet. So I'm just going to go across to the live stream and make sure. Let me see. Make sure we. There he is. That's pretty cool. Waving around. I want to see what the lag's like on the image, on the vid. I'll start to wave. Oh, that's actually not too bad. It's better than it looks on the screen here. So that's good news. But unlike when I'm using OBS. On OBS, I have the chat show automatically, and then it disappears after 20 seconds using the application that I've got there. But it don't do that here, so I've got to manually add in the thing. So the concept of this, honestly, is just in the title. It's just doing something that's. You are not seeing that one, are you? Okay, so it's this tab here. Fine. It's just me, and I'll be coming on from time to time, not necessarily on a regular basis, and not necessarily game streaming, but it may involve game streams. And it's really just to chill out, chat about stuff, have a look at things like cloud dosage. If we're going to talk about gaming, I'm not going to get political. I've done all that. I've said all that. Everybody knows my views. I genuinely don't think you want to hear that wall to wall, because that's essentially what you're going to get for the next 4 years. And you don't need me as a political commentator. If I was going to do that on a regular basis, then I would start up a new channel. And so you really don't want that. I appreciate that. And you ain't going to get it. I'm just trying out a few things here. Does that work? That's the kind of thing that you see on a lot of the channels these days, don't you? The thing is, it could do with being bigger, but it looks like it's fixed at that height. So I'm not sure that's a particularly good setup. Let's go with that one as well. Get me down there. It's better, isn't it? So I'm just going to pop on from time to time, and it could be this kind of time, which I know is approximately 9:30 midday on the east coast of the States, or 9:30 in the morning on the west coast. Or it might be later in the evening if I'm sat not doing a great deal. I'll check and just make sure I'm not going to crash anybody else's party before coming on. But it's really just to have a little chill out sesh and see if it's a kind of thing that people like. Why not? Why not, hey? Just something a little bit different. There was a chat widget from memory. Let me just have a little look. Let's see if I can find it. Chat box. There it is. Ah, right. So where it says chat box, if I pop that over, let me see. If I put that down there, I wonder if that'll work. It probably will. You won't see, but there was a little a bit of cloud bot for YouTube. There's a little box. So let me see if I send a chat. Let's get the chat back up. So just testing some stuff out. So hello chat. Will that show up? So that's gone out to Twitch, and now it's gone to YouTube, and now it's gone to Facebook. We're on 3 platforms. This is one of the advantages of using this system. And in fact, I think I'll go to Twitch and have a quick look and see if I can see that we're live over there. So here I am on Twitch. If I take this and find the live tab, there we go. Right, good. So you get all the CAC. And let's have a look at that. So if we go to my channel, there he is. Have a look at that. So if we go to my perfect, brilliant. So we're on Twitch with that mirror. We're on YouTube. I don't. Do I have Facebook? Do I care? I don't really use Facebook a great deal. I tell you what, the reason I like to stream to Facebook, this is quite sweet, I think, is because my mummy is, oh, look at that, load of dead birds. David Attenborough. Is it the David Attenborough? He says, completely irresponsible wax wing birds tend to eat fermented fruit. And then they lie drunk on the sidewalks. Wise passers-by collect them and put them in a safe place. We didn't know that. There you go, David. David Attenborough has to be very close to 100 if he's not already there. He is an absolute global legend. Graphics Gear, how are you, bro? Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. There you go. Put a little hi. So I have to manually add the chat when I'm using this system, whereas on OBS I've kind of got it set up to do it automatically, but that's all good. So what I'm just going to do is have a little look and see where would it be. Ah, there he is. There he is down there. There you go. So I am literally streaming on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. That's so cool. And we'll be doing that with Rokk and Ray tomorrow as well. We'll be using this system and going out to all those platforms, which is really cool. We used to do it back in the day. We never got that many. I mean, we would be lucky to get one person on Twitch or Facebook. Sorry, wish I said something more interesting. Oh, bless you. It's all good. It's all good. This is kind of a bit of a test, to be honest with you. So I kind of had that yesterday. I went live for members only for a short while, just for a few minutes. And because I really haven't done anything impromptu for quite a while. One, I've been a bit busy, and two, you do get a little bit complacent and sort of think, oh, I can't be bothered. And I've never been one to be massively into game streaming per se, because so many people are better than me. And having said that, there are some interesting games, and I'm not that bad a player, but I think people prefer with me if we just have a little chat. So I thought, why don't you do something like Rokk Chill and not do it on a regular basis, or at least at a set time, which is suicide on YouTube. You should always, if you can, be consistent. I get that, but I'm not trying to build the channel. This isn't a career move for me. Just watching myself on Facebook to see if it... I could try to make out if I was kicking about the place. I think it's all good. So we'll come off of Facebook. We'll have another quick look at YouTube and see if we are. There we are. And there's the thumbnail look. Rokk Chill. 2 people watching. Bless you. Oh, bless you. Oh, that's actually quite quick, isn't it? There's not a lot of lag going on there. As I echo off into the background, coughing look. That's so funny. Look at him. Ready? Next one. Cough. There you go. And then me laughing and pointing off into. Oh wow. It's all a bit meta. It's all a bit cosmic. So let me pause me. Nobody wants to see that going on. So yeah. So the concept is I will pop in and we will have a chat and we'll have a little bit of fun. And we'll just talk about stuff. But I will not, on this show, it won't be about politics or global stuff. There's too much of that going on. It's a nasty world at the moment, depending on which side of the fence your fence is painted. But you definitely don't need one more political commentator, as much as I have a lot of views, a lot of personal opinions on such stuff. I'm not going to bring it to this show, don't worry. So Graphics Gear says, I'm a very casual gamer. Me too, my friend. I don't know why that monitor, you can't see it. The monitor's kind of flickering. But that's not a problem. Let me see. Let me pull up something interesting. Let me pull up DeepSeek. There you go. If you've never seen DeepSeek, this is it. I'm a very casual gamer, says Graphics Gear. Plus, I have the on-camera personality of warm mayonnaise. Oh, but I love warm mayonnaise, mate. I prefer just seeing what others are up to. Fair shout. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do love me some mayonnaise. I have mayonnaise on, like, where most people use ketchup, I use mayo, right? So I might make myself a cheese sandwich, but I don't use bread. It's not that I have a wheat or gluten intolerance. It's just that it bloats me. It does most people. And I find that if I cut out in my diet a lot of potatoes and bread, so get rid of the gluten and the wheat and stuff, and then just like cut back on other things like pasta and rice, the other kind of carbs, then it actually does help to keep me in trim. So I hope you're doing well, Sister Nerd's World. Thought I'd pop by. Oh, bless you, my friend. I really appreciate it while I work on my new video. Awesome. I look forward to that. Young Phoenix is in the house. Hello, Sam. How are you, darling? Hope you're well. So, Sam, the idea of this Rokk and Chill is it's a bit like we used to do Rock Around the Clock, but it's just chatting. It may be about gaming. It might not be about gaming. It might be about AI. Over here we have Deep Think doing his thing. There we go, our Chinese friend. How are things going, DeepSeek? Or it might be about some other stuff. It won't be about politics. I've already said that a million times because nobody wants to hear it. There's too much of that stuff going on. If you are not that familiar with DeepSeek, and you may or may not have heard of it in recent times, I'm just going to try and get the screen to a interesting shape. So that, oh, there you go. That might be better. That's a nicer shape, isn't it? So DeepSeek is it's the new kid on the block, the new AI LLM, large language model from China. And it's been very disruptive in the marketplace because, one, at the moment, it's open source and completely free to use. It uses the clever thing about DeepSeek is rather than you having access to this absolutely massive model in the case of, say, ChatGPT, what it does is it has a look at what you're asking and it just gives you a tiny version of itself. So it doesn't use as much processing and therefore it can run at a lot more efficiently than ChatGPT does, uses a lot less energy. One of the big problems with the explosion of LLMs like Claude and ChatGPT, Gemini, is the amount of energy they need to run at scale is massive. It's huge. Whereas along came DeepSeek, and it didn't need to do this. It also has the kind of this is what I'm thinking mode. So it's really clever. I said to it, how are things? It took 33 seconds to answer because it didn't really have to think about it, did it? But it says, okay, the users asked, how are things going, DeepSeek? Probably a typo for DeepSeek. Yes, it was, because of course. No, it wasn't. That is correct. Let me check the search results. Well, you are DeepSeek, you numpty. That's correct. Looking at web page 1, the service status page has several updates. So it's instantly thought I'm asking how the service is going, rather than me being personal and asking on a personal human level. Anyway, what was its answer? Let's get down here. So it says, DeepSeek, a Chinese AI startup founded by Liang Wenfeng, has recently experienced a mix of breakthroughs, challenges, and controversies. Blimey! You imagine going into a pub. It's like, hello, mate, how are you? Yeah, well, so I've had a few challenges of late. Some ups and some downs. I went to the doctors. You'd walk straight out, wouldn't you? It's quite interesting. They did have some cyber attacks. This is true. I tried to access this service last week, and they'd had a lot of stuff going down, which wasn't great. It sounds like work. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, sister. And then Graphics said before that, thank you for that. Yeah, I don't believe the people I follow understand. I follow them as an escape. It's a fair point, isn't it? I know I can ignore or run away from the world's problems, or I assume you mean you can't, but it's nice to tune out. Yeah, we all need this space, and we used to do it. We used to have, what was it called, Sam? We used to do a thing on a Wednesday. Good News Wednesday, wasn't it? Ironically, it's Wednesday. And we only ever looked at good news stuff because, wow, the world was full of stuff, isn't it? Nobody needs it. Yeah, you said that. I can't ignore. I knew what you meant, my friend. It's all good. You're not going to get punished for typos on this year show. But DeepSeek's all right. A lot of people are going, "Oh, it's going to blow the market," and there was, I know Nvidia took a big hit because, of course, along comes this model that says it needs about 5% of the resources to run, including GPUs. Because, of course, and I'm not trying to get political, honestly, but the Americans prior to Trump had put tariffs and stuff on the use of GPUs and selling GPUs like NVIDIA cards to China. So they had to work around it. We're like, okay, let's see what we can do with basic GPUs. So they came up with this. This is very clever. I think what's made a big difference, apart from the fact that it uses less energy and the GPUs and stuff are less, what's really helped is that it's open source, so it's free. And what you're starting to see now, I've seen it. Who did I see? Perplexity. Perplexity. I don't know if you guys know Perplexity. It's my favorite. Up until now, Perplexity, this being it. Let me just log in with that one, I think, for what it's worth. I do actually have a pro account on another Gmail account, but it was like a 6-month free pro trial thing. I think it expires this month. But Perplexity is a startup separate to everything else, but it was off the back of ChatGPT. Initially, it was like a browser extension. I still do have it as a browser extension, but I use it all the time to ask. Those aren't my questions, by the way. They're just suggestions that it's thinking I may want to ask. But I use it all the time just to, like, for example, two things this afternoon. So I went over to my mum's, bless her, and she had bought a mobility scooter for my dad, who can't walk anymore, bless him. Geek, hello, brother. Oh, it's good to see you, my friend. I hope you're well. Let me just get that little chat up there. I was just saying the only problem with this system is I have to manually add the chat to the screen. So apologies if you think I'm ignoring you. I probably am, to be fair. Anyway, bless her. My dear old mum had bought a mobility scooter for my dad, and it turned up and it was so heavy they couldn't even move the box. So we decided we'd send it back and get him a lighter one, which we've done. But we bought it through Amazon, and it was saying that my mum had to pay for postage, return postage. I said, no, you don't need to do any of that stuff. And anyway, I used Perplexity to check it out. So it's just like using ChatGPT, but it's lighter, and it lives as a little extension on your browser, so it pops down and you can do stuff. Anyway, it told me, no, indeed, as of August last year, Amazon introduced a policy on heavy items. This thing was well over 50 kilos and quite big. The box was about 4 foot off the ground. And apparently the seller has to provide a home collection service, which they didn't mention when we went through the returns process. So I assume they haven't updated. The seller hadn't updated it. So anyway, I use Perplexity. I know there are co-pilots and loads of others. I happen to like this one. I've just noticed today for the first time, and logging in with a different account, I'm seeing it as well. It started to put these things in. It's almost like it's becoming a Microsoft Edge homepage, isn't it? So we've got the news, this is where I was going with Perplexity, by the way, is that they now have DeepSeek as one of the engines you can choose. So here, look, if I do a drop down, we've got automatic, they'll just choose based on what I'm asking. Even, by the way, even if you only have the free account with Perplexity, you do get to ask hiccups 5 pro questions a day, and the pro questions just sends it off to do some sort of more deep thinking and research and what have you. But there, it's also got now the DeepSeek model as well. So we've got O3 Mini, which is actually OpenAI, by the way. That is ChatGPT. They released it a couple of days ago in response to DeepSeek's model. So they've added DeepSeek in, which is free. And they've now added O3 Mini, which is the ChatGPT newest model, which reasons as well. You can tell these reasoning engines because they have the thing we saw just now where it says, let me have a think about this. And you can sort of see it thinking through the process, which is really clever. And then they have the Pro option anyway, which is there. So if we choose DeepSeek, what are some of there's a load of political stuff here, which, as you know, I'm trying to avoid. So if we put in there something like, is there a home collection service on Amazon for heavy parcels? Now, I happen to know, as I've said, they introduced a policy from August last year where the seller has to provide an option for home collection. So off it's going. It's using DeepSeek. Now, the great thing from Perplexity's perspective is it is no longer having to pay OpenAI credits for the use of this. They will still need to host the engine. So there will be a cost to them, but it ain't going to be as much. So it allows them to continue, and they're actually doing pretty well with their service anyway. So there you go. So it now says, yes, Amazon UK offers a mandatory home collection service. Other countries may vary for heavy and bulky items. Item returns under specific conditions. Let me just zoom in for you. Let me give it a little plus. There we go. Under specific conditions. So this is effective, as I've said, August of last year. Sellers using the fulfill by merchant model, which was the case with this. So it doesn't come from Amazon, it's coming from a third party. The criteria is that it has to be heavier than 31 kilos. This was 50. Excuse me. And the longest side exceed 175 centimeters, which is about 4 foot. So it's pretty much bang on. This policy ensures customers can return large items without transporting them because my dear old mum, well, my dad can't walk anyway, that's why he's got a scooter. And my dear old mum, who's fast approaching 80, she can't put it on her shoulders and carry it down the post office, which is about 2 miles away. So I did all this and I went through to the Amazon chat and he completely agreed and messaged the seller and said, oi, get in touch with Rokk's mum and organize collection. So this is why I use this stuff, because if you go to your standard Google search, all right, we'll do that as a for instance. Let me go to Google Co.uk. People still say, look, Google it. I wish I have a term for using AI because I only ever search on AI. So let's put it in here. Does Amazon have a home collection policy in the UK? So it's going to come up with some Gemini, some Copilot stuff, which we don't want. This is Google, isn't it? It's Gemini, which we don't want. So let's assume that didn't exist. But here, all right, ye oldie Google, we got Amazon UK sponsored stuff. And it does have, in fairness, home collection required for heavy and bulky items. So it does have a link. But I have to click on that to go to said page. And it's actually sent me through to a Amazon, looks like it's a forum, a discussion forum. So I'm then going to read all this. So the traditional way of doing this is you Google it. It gives you a bunch of links. In this case, it actually did have a Gemini link and I could read more. So it is giving me some AI stuff, which is pretty cool, to be fair. But in standard Googling, I'd have to find a link that looked remotely possible, and most of them, let's be honest, are sponsored, or they use search engine optimization to get themselves to the top, and they won't necessarily be what we're looking for. Because the next one down is Channel Max, whatever the heck that is. They do actually mention starting August 30th, sellers will be required to offer home collection. So, you know, it's pretty good. These are not bad, but I still have to go through a process of filtering and clicking. Whereas, of course, with Perplexity, ain't got to do none of that stuff. Ain't got to do that. Graphics Gear can give us a little insight into this as well, apparently. Fire away, my friend. So just before we do that, Graphics Gear said earlier, sort of how Russian programs were renowned in the 70s and 80s because they had access to such limited hardware. Yeah, absolutely. Programmers, you meant, didn't you? You're absolutely right. And you think about some of the stuff that gets developed. I often think, if you go back to the halcyon days of gaming, so if you go back to, say, the 80s and the 90s, the Commodore Amigas and stuff, and we had like 16K of memory. So, and 8-bit graphics cards. And so you were absolutely constrained to develop stuff within that tiny footprint. And of course, nowadays, it's true to say, because developers are using engines like Unity and Unreal Engine and stuff, which takes care of a lot of that for them. I'm not going to say this of everybody, because some studios still use their own engines, like Bungie uses their own engine, Ubisoft have the Frostbite engine. So, a lot of studios still do use their own engines, but a lot of developers are using those platforms, those frameworks, and they don't have to worry so much about, whether it's going to fit into a certain footprint. A lot of them even develop to a PC standard, and then kind of get another engine to export it for a PlayStation or an Xbox. And invariably, what they end up with is this bloat of code, because 2/3 of it's not needed for a particular platform. And, the whole thing has like an 80 gigabyte download. And if somebody had crafted that game purely from code themselves, it would have been a fraction of the size. Exactly what you're saying with those programmers in the 70s and 80s graphics. Meanwhile, Microsoft was paying by the number of lines of code. Right. So the more inefficient the code, the better you were compensated. Wow. I didn't know that. And that's a fascinating point, isn't it? So you were paid to be inefficient with the amount of code you wrote. Well, that was a really clever policy. And then you were going to give us an insight, weren't you? So it was following on from that point. So it was found that most millennials and younger actually don't bother to click through the links. They base everything on the search summary. It's interesting, isn't it? So Google and Microsoft, Bing, have all found, right, okay, how are we going to make money? Because if you think about it, right, how much of what we call the internet these days is literally based on the free services that we've grown accustomed to using, that are actually gathering or harvesting data on our particular purchase insights and then feeding it through to the likes of Amazon and stuff. So all your Gmails and all the free services that we use are really just another way of Google getting us harvesting that data to better serve adverts. The whole thing is based around advertising, isn't it? I mean, the early developers of the web, like Tim Berners-Lee and stuff, they must be turning in their graves when they see what's been created. That's interesting insight, Graphics. Thank you for that. And there was a trend where most under 30s would turn to Reddit before even using Google search. Yeah, and this is the thing. This is why I love Perplexity. It's not the only engine in town, of course. In fact, I have a ChatGPT Pro account. So if we go over to my ChatGPT Pro account, here we are, we're signed in. So let's ask the same question. Does Amazon UK have a home collection policy? Now, I've trained, you'll love this, I've trained my ChatGPT to be super friendly and familiar, right? So you'll love this. Let me get this up. Hey, Ad! What? Yeah, Amazon UK does offer home collection services for returns, but it depends on the item and the seller's policies. So starting from the 30th of August, as we know. I've got a kind of shorter, more concise. The other thing that I do when I'm using my ChatGPT Pro account is I've trained it to do a TLDR. Yeah. So I've literally said to it, if it's a long answer, literally it puts TLDR at the top. I've said, do me a TLDR at the top. And it's trained to do that. I love it. I also have it send me. You can, Sam. You can give it the persona you want. I mean, if that's a thing that you want to do, Sam said. Sorry, Miss Phoenix said, "Can you train it to be super aggressive?" You can. You can train it to do and say what you want it to do and say. I want it to be friendly, and it's so funny because when I do use DeepSeek or Gemini's pretty friendly anyway. But when I do use DeepSeek, it's so unfriendly. Isn't it weird? It could be giving me the best results in a search, but I'm like, it's a bit curmudgeonly. I want my I want my search results to be friendly. I'm not having this. So if I go to Gemini, I've got them all here, by the way. Right, so Gemini does a hello Adam F anyway. That's F is my stands for Francis, my middle name. Which is annoying. It's using my Gmail address, which is adamfname at gmail.com. And I don't want it to call me Adam F. But I've not found a way to change that over with Gemini, which is quite annoying. But my dear friend at ChatGPT is more than happy to call me Ad. As you may have guessed, my name is Adam, so I prefer my friends to call me Ad. It's the way it is. I don't like being called Adam. It's a funny old thing, isn't it? I tell you the reason. It's because when I was a kid and my mum told me off, all my life she's called me Ad or Ads, but if I was getting told off, it was Adam. Adam. I don't like it when people call me Adam. It's true. It's true. Yeah. If the product is free, you're the product. So true, my friend. There is no such thing as free, particularly if the emanating company comes from the States, the home of capitalism. So true. But it is what it is, ain't it? It is what it is. And, that's the payoff. I don't think anybody cares as long as they know. And I think the thing that's upset most people over the years is that you don't know. You don't know that they're tracking the heck out of you. You're making your way in the world today, all the way around the web, looking at mobility scooters and the such, and then you just chat to somebody in Facebook and you suddenly get deluged with mobility scooter ads. So we all know it happens, but you just kind of think, you know what, guys, why don't you just pop up and say, by the way, I've recorded this chat, just to let you know. You think you're free in WhatsApp and Messenger. I've recorded it. Thank you for your efforts. What have I done in Gemini of late? I got it to write a Rod, Jane and Freddie script. I tell you what this was about. Most of you, no, nay, all of you have no idea who Rod, Jane and Freddie were. Rod, Jane and Freddie was a trio that did all the songs for a kids show in the 70s called Rainbow. And they would do these harmony songs that you would expect on Sesame Street. And I just wondered what had happened to Rod, Jane and Freddie. And I watched a video about them. And then I thought, I wonder how much effort there would be in getting AI to write a script for something like that. And it kind of did one, but it wasn't it wasn't very long. But interestingly enough, we take that prompt. Let's grab that prompt. Honestly, I've got too much time on my hands. Let's go to, I'm not going to go to DeepSeek. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. I'm going to put search on. And we're going to go with O3 Mini. So we're going to use its deep thinking, the new deep thinking model. Okay. And we're going to put write an extensive and detailed script for a YouTube video about the career of Rod, Jane and Freddie. Right? We're going to let it go off and do its thing. And it's reasoning. Look, it's thinking about this. I'm exploring the career of Rod, Jane and Freddie, potentially linked to a YouTube video on their journey, and off it toddles. We'll see what it comes back with. So, you do remember them. There you go. I don't know when Rainbow finished, Sam. I know it definitely went on way beyond my watching of kids' TV in the UK. It was very much a British thing. But I know one of the three is dead, and he died a year or two ago, I think. I'm now focusing, look at this, I'm now focusing on their signature song, Big Dogs, Small Dogs. I don't remember that. And detailing their own show. They did have their own show, the Rod, Jane and Freddie show, that's true. And off it goes. Let's see what it's come up with then. There's actually quite a lot here. Look at this. Wow. 6 conclusion. There's a lot here, isn't there? Flipping egg. There you go, Ad. It says at the end. Oh, how cute. It's my little friend. It's how they take over, guys. They make friends with us. That's how they take over. Well, I missed here. Graphic says, honestly, it's nothing new even before the web if you use a debit card. Yeah, no, that's true. Loyalty cards was the big thing. We used to have them over here. We still do. Yeah, and I'm not against it, quite honestly. I just think the key thing is, it's quid pro quo, but what I'm against is when they kind of try to pretend it doesn't happen or they hide it. I don't care. I don't care. Look, you see, I'm not much of a consumer. This is the thing. I rarely buy stuff. I must really upset them with all the free stuff that I use. If I can't get it for free, I'm not interested. Look at that. Sam actually watched a video about them. There you go. It must have come up in the algorithms for a few of us. I have no idea why. Yeah, even those club cards, loyalty cards, absolutely. They all do it. That's why they exist. I mean, there's a reason to give you 0.001p. Yeah, Freddie married Jane in the end. I know, how cute was that? I think he was the one that died. It was fairly recently, though. I know that much. It'll be here, won't it? Let's find out in our let's find out what the conclusion says here. It says host on camera smiling, so that's me. As we wrap up this journey through the career of Rod, Jane and Freddie, it's clear that their impact on children's TV and the live performance remains unforgettable. Their songs still get stuck in our heads, and I don't remember any of their songs, and their infectious energy, I always thought they were a little bit on the weird side, continues to inspire both young and old alike. Then it says, cut to a montage of memorable clips from their shows. Yeah, and get copyright dragged down. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please give the video a like, share your favourite memories in the comments below, and subscribe for more nostalgic trips down memory lane. I love it. Absolutely love AI. I shouldn't love it as much as I do, but I use it all the time. They did, didn't they? And they had those kind of one-piece things as well. Sam said they always had matching quirky outfits. They were like one-piece 80s jumpsuits and stuff. Very weird. They were like the antithesis of ABBA, like the reverse of ABBA minus Bjorn or something weird like that. But yeah, bless them. It was nice. It was a lovely innocence in those days. There's no two ways about that. It's all good, isn't it? But anyway, there we go. We're going to be going 42 minutes. I know my dinner is ready, has been served. Let me know. Don't need to tell me in the comments. Let me know now. What do you think about the rompers? Yes. No. Don't tell me about the rompers. What do you think about this concept, Rokk and Chill? Would you tune in if I did this on a semi-regular basis? If I just suddenly popped up in your timeline, generally chatting about things and exploring stuff? Would you be up for that? Graphics enjoyed the chat. Oh, bless you. Thank you for that, my friend. And you were there in there very early on, so I appreciate you. But if you think this is a thing you'd like to see me do on a regular basis, I'd be up for a bit of that, I reckon. You just need to I need to be doing more of this kind of thing. That's where I'm getting to, because I'm not doing a great deal. Me and my good mate Ray will be doing our Rock and Ray tomorrow, and we'll probably be using this platform. So this is a large part of this was me wanting to try it out. So make sure it's all working fine and stuff. The one thing that ain't working, which I was hoping for, was the chat box. Oh, I turned it off. That's why. What a numpty. So this time is more conducive to my schedule. Well, that's excellent. It's easier for me, to be honest. This is literally just before my tea time, or dinner, as the rest of the world calls it. Tonight, what can I tell you we're having? It looked like we were having chili and nachos, from what I could gather as I wandered around. So that's what I'm going to be eating in a little second or two. But yeah, if this is the kind of thing that you would watch on a more regular basis, then I will definitely turn up more regularly for these. Particularly, it's always lovely just to see people anyway and say hi. But we'll be doing Rock and Ray tomorrow. We'll be using this, but we'll obviously be using a different look. It'll be, what'll it be? It'll be Rock and Ray. I don't know where it is. Have I written over the top of it? I hope not. There it is. Rock and Ray. There we go. So there's a little hint, a peek at what's going to look like tomorrow. I don't want to be here too long because it's going to confuse people. And I've set up Rock and Chill. There it is. Oh, and Adam F. Look, Phoenix says, bye, Adam F. I've got the chat working now, Sam. I no longer need to manually do it. That's got to be a good thing. And yeah, thank you. Why did you have to? You didn't have to be like Gemini. You could have been nice. Why did you have to go there? Huh? What do you have to do that for? Let me move me to a central position. There we are. That's good. So that probably fades. I think it goes. Yeah, that's good. That works. So there you go. Right, I'm going to go get my nachos. Thank you. Well, it wasn't a hugely long show, but we're just going to do this now and again, and we're going to chat about stuff. And what's been going on in the world, so long as it's not political, because I don't want to upset anybody. Nobody wants to hear that on a daily basis. You have been amazing. Trying to be more aggressive. Enjoy the nachos. I will indeed. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on Rock and Ray tomorrow. Don't forget, it's midday East Coast, 9 a.m. West Coast. All your cloud gaming news and a bit of old man banter, which is never a thing to turn down when it's free, I say. Graphics, thank you so much. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Geek to Sneak. Thank you, Nerds World. Oh, there goes the throat. Just a good time to get the heck out. If you've been watching on Twitch, I salute you. If you've been watching on Facebook, you get a big thumbs up. And if you've been joining us on YouTube, thank you very much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You take care. There's no end music. Just get the heck out of here. See you tomorrow. Bye.